It's crazy to me that an agent with a 2.8% pick rate has the best utility and the most powerful abilities in the game. He has one of the best flashes, the fastest info gathering ability, and on top of that, he can stop the enemy from using their abilities. By now, you've probably guessed who it is. It's Kayo. I was able to hit Immortal 3 separate times playing Kayo, and part of that is because of how versatile his utility can be. Stick around, because in just 10 minutes, I'm going to teach you why Kayo is the most broken agent in the game, and how you can climb to Immortal using him as well. Starting with his signature ability, his knife is the fastest info gathering ability in the game. Because the knife can get information through walls, there are multiple ways to throw a knife where it's unbreakable for the enemy. As an example, we'll be looking at the one and only Asuna. In this clip, he's playing the B site on Breeze. He's throwing the knife in the very first second of the round and in a spot where it's unbreakable for the enemy. It's scanned no one. That's crazy if you really think about it. Asuna, in the first second of the round, knows that the enemy team would likely be pushing A because he didn't scan anyone. May I just remind you, he got all this info in under 4 seconds. He then rotates through mid, a little cautiously, but his Sova also darted mid. They could have caught a timing or waited the dart out, so he clears the common angles and goes right onto the A site to help his team. Before the enemy team could even use their Viper ult, there's 4 defenders on the site. If you compare Sova's recon dart to the knife, the dart takes much longer to activate because it needs to be lined up, charged up, travel through the air, then it lands and can start scanning the enemy. On top of that, the dart can be destroyed and avoided if the enemy is not in the line of sight, but Kayo's knife can be thrown right away, and the travel time is a lot faster than the dart. Yes, the knife can be broken, but as we said before, the knife can get info through walls. This is why learning spots around the map where the knife can't be broken is very beneficial if you're trying to improve on this agent. The info gathering part of the knife is a basic concept, but the difference between an okay KO and a great KO is understanding the power to stop an entire push with one good knife. If the enemy's rushing every round and you're struggling to stop them, instead of knifing for info, try knifing to stop them from using abilities. When a team wants to push site, they usually start the attack with smokes or a drone. That's your key to get the knife ready, because the enemy is giving you their location with either the sound of the drone or where the smokes are being placed. You have a few seconds to throw your knife to stop the push, which is after the smokes are down and before they push. This timing is crucial because if you throw the knife before the smokes, they can just reset and push, since they still have all the smokes available. But if it's too late, then they are already pushing onto the site and the knife will not scare them away from pushing. If you manage to get this timing correct, the abilities are suppressed for 8 seconds, which doesn't seem like a lot, but 8 seconds is almost enough time for a teammate to fully rotate on a set. And that's not even including you communicating with your team. Something like, I hear footsteps A, or smokes on A, which could allow your teammates to rotate even earlier. Switching your playstyle from getting info and stopping a push mid-game could really throw off the enemy team. Remember, being unpredictable is how you get the maximum value for abilities. Speaking of being unpredictable, how many times have you stared at a smoke and said to yourself, KO's gonna flash through this smoke? But for me, I've said this a lot, because most KO players are not using him to his full potential. They see a smoke and think, I must flash through this. This makes them predictable, and if you're predictable, you're an easy target to kill. But I went through Asuna's entire game on Breeze, and he barely did the basic underhand flash through a smoke and push. Sometimes he would underhand and not go through, and other times he would just throw the flash in an area that wouldn't flash his team but hit the enemies. Don't get me wrong, he definitely underhand flashed through smokes and pushed and got free kills on full blind enemies, but it's more effective for him because that's not the only thing he does. Because he's unpredictable with his ult, the enemy struggles to play anti-flash. Asuna plays ranked with the best of the best, and even he says that ranked KO is broken because people struggle to counter the flash. This is what I would call on-the-fly KO plays, but I've not even mentioned KO flash lineups. There are hundreds of lineups on YouTube and probably hundreds that have not been discovered yet. There are different lineups for different situations, but one of my favorite lineups is on Ascent. On A site, there's a jump up box to get to heaven. What I like to do is if my teammate's struggling to play trades and post plan, or if my team is down numbers, I like to use this lineup that flashes all of heaven except the jump up box. This cool lineup allows you to shoot at the enemy without having to worry about being flashed by yourself. So the enemy team either has to look at the flash and kill you or turn away, which allows you to pick up some easy kills. But we want to remember that if you do this every round, you become predictable. Another great reason to learn lineups is to flash your team into certain parts of the map. A great example to use this is C long on Haven. Sometimes it's nice to change the pace of the game, especially if your team has been really passive. So grab your friendly neighborhood jet and throw a flash down C long and have the jet dash at the same time. Now, we're going to be looking at some cool Kayo plays and breaking down why and how pros use Kayo effectively. The first clip is Victor on Ascent. At first glance, you might be confused on why Victor's holding a weird angle. Just take a second and see if you can figure it out before I tell you. If you look closely, there's a chamber trap right in front of it that'll trigger if the enemy goes through cap. Playing off his teammate's utility limits his risk of dying, because he doesn't need to peek for information. He's waiting for the trap to trigger to start using his abilities. After he flashes off the trip, the jet dashes to the left of the door. Victor realizes this is the perfect time to throw the molly, but he also combos it with a flash. He does this because the molly forces the enemy out of the corner and into the second flash. Using his teammate's utility and his fast thinking with the molly flash combo, he was able to pick up 2 frags for his team and secure the round. The next clip is from Boaster, and he's playing a more aggressive entry style Kayo on Split. He throws his knife right when the spawn barrier drops to clear the garage push. When it scans no one, he knows he can start scaling up until he gets to the next potential engagement. He uses his molly to prevent people from swinging him and then flashes to force anyone holding the angle to back off. As he enters the site, he throws a pop flash, which allows him to kill the full blind Reyna who was holding from hell. He then swings the Cypher and picks up a nice double kill for his team. If we break down the round though, we can see he did so much more than just kill. But Boaster was able to separate the enemy team by using his molly to prevent the Sky from swinging. He then prevented a potential crossfire that Cypher and Reyna held by throwing a flash. The enemy had 3 people on the site, so they should have been able to hold main as a team. Boaster's great utility usage allowed him to separate the enemy team into 1v1 gunfights, which is incredibly valuable. Let's do a SkillCapped reveal. We went over the hidden secret of Kayo's knife, the amazing versatility of Kayo's abilities. We then went over in-game examples of pros using Kayo's utility to disrupt the enemy and create opportunities for the team. If there's one thing we want you to take away from this video, it's that there's so much value in this agent's utility. Just because you may not be getting kills or assists doesn't mean you're not having an impact in the game. Being able to gather information so quickly in a round, as you've seen, can be incredibly impactful. Or even just throwing a simple molly to prevent a swing. All of these are things that can help you carry just like the pros.
Remember though, if you're really looking to improve at Valorant, then you've got to check out SkillCapped.com. Over on the site, we have hundreds of hours of exclusive content designed to take your game to the next level. It's also all backed by our rank improvement guarantee, meaning if you don't improve while actively using our service, you'll get your money back, no questions asked. We do this because our service works, and if it doesn't work, you shouldn't pay. So, what are you waiting for? Get started on your climb at SkillCapped.com, link in the description below.